Welcome to Inspire and Move, the show that inspires you to create, connect, and grow. I'm going to bring you meaningful conversations, aha moments, and all the motivation you need to up-level every part of your life. I'm Ali Aruda, founder of Inspire and Move, and your personal hype girl. I've gone from fashion school to celebrity stylist to corporate marketing to brick and mortar entrepreneurship with my husband, each time learning incredible lessons how to pivot, reimagine, and implement the steps to become successful. I am passionate about inspiring others to live their best life, a life of joy. We have the power to design a life that we love because life is too short not to. The best part is that you weren't meant to do this alone. If you feel like you were meant for more, let me ride shotgun with you, and together, let's get you to where you want to go. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the show. I am joined by one of my favorite guests, and what did we call you? Executive co-host?
Like one of your favorite guests?
I don't know, because I just recorded an episode and I did a little teaser that we've got some epic guests coming in for 2024.
I've seen that list, and you're not bullshitting anybody. It is spectacular.
Yeah, I'm
awesome.
pretty pumped. I also shared on that episode about my little raspy gremlin voice that's also dipping into this episode. So I hope you guys really enjoy it. This is going to be a nice quickie because sometimes I lose it altogether. So
yeah, I mean, you're probably 10 times better than what you were 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So
and a week ago.
Yeah, like if you're gremlin mode right now, you were like Shrek spawn of Satan 2 days ago.
How did you come up with that so quickly?
I don't know. It's how my brain works. There we go.
Okay, so today, guys, we're talking about, the sort of the broad topic is how do you define success? And this is something that Matt and I were kind of chatting through before we hit record, is that is a very broad topic. So we will absolutely be revisiting that in future episodes. But what we really wanted to kind of dive into in terms of how you define success is in the materialistic things, like, or just material things. And I think because has been on our heart so much just over the last couple of weeks, kind of in the holiday season. You and I have had a lot of conversations around this, and we do definitely need to have more conversations with our family because we have sort of ideas and plans that we want to put into place. But I think that is just a really great overlap of, this topic that we want to talk about, but also something a conversation we've been having a lot, kind of frequently in our home together.
Yeah, and the idea of defining success, I think, too, it's so specific to each individual person, and maybe more so based on what part of the journey they're on. I think if you're a young 20-something-year-old and you are just full of all the piss and vinegar, and you're coming out of school and you're looking to make an insane name for yourself, either on your own from an entrepreneur standpoint, or you're beginning to climb the corporate ladder. A lot of what might drive that success, if we're being perfectly honest, is money. Is dollars. And I am not against making money. I am a massive fan of making money, actually, as much as you can, within reason, and in my mind, to do it in a way that you could sleep well at night doing. Well, helping people is the best way that we have been able to amass whatever it is that we've amassed, whether it be in what we're doing currently or certainly in our way of life before. I think our mindset of how we try to make money, how we go forward with whatever career that we're in, the first thing we think of is, how can I help person X, Y, and Z? And you do that enough times, and that just looks after you naturally, ultimately, I think, is what the real secret, simple recipe to that is. But my point with this is defining one's success is different as a 20-year-old versus a 30, 40, 50, 70-year-old. I think as you grow older, your success, or what makes you happiest, let's say, and achieving that success will change, because obviously your targets will change through those different seasons of life, right? So first and foremost, nothing wrong with having materialistic goals as what you determine being successful. I think that's reasonable for all of us, truly all of us, to absorb a little bit here, if not entirely, as one's whole mindset of what success is. It would be unrealistic for me to come out here and say that we're going to pull a Mother Teresa card and just give everything that we've ever earned away to anybody and everybody and not keep anything for ourselves. I think part of what drives us is absolutely making sure that, look, man, we like nice things. Mm-hmm. And that means you got to work hard.
Well, and I think also what I was going to say before is that there's also nothing wrong with wanting to generate money and generate wealth. Money money is an excellent thing. We need money to, do these daily
It's
transactions.
just a tool.
It's just a tool. And if you want, a lot of money, then you have lots of choice, but you can also create a lot of impact. And that's something that we've also talked a lot about. I haven't really spoken about this yet on the podcast, but just last week, we did it on Giving Tuesday. I know that's a larger holiday in the US for sort of the US listeners versus here in Canada, but I launched the Pigden Family Fund.
Yeah, you did.
With the USANA Foundation.
Damn right you did.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited to share that maybe in a separate episode altogether. But that is a way of, using this as an example that you want to, when you have money, you can then provide to other people, communities, causes, organizations, whatever, touches your heart or something that you've maybe gone through personally, your family. But it's how you can create impact. And then even from a business standpoint, you and I talk about this a lot, and we have talked about this a lot on the show about, with Benchmark and our community, we want to ensure we are always providing value. And that's just something that kind of ties into, I think, what you were just saying as well, that, money is not a bad thing. And I think it's something that people can certainly perceive to be a rough topic. And you might have someone that kind of rubs you the wrong way with the conversation, but it is not. And I think that's something that, we should remind ourselves of regularly.
Yeah, I think that also goes back to, how you came up with it, how people grew up with it, right? If you were in households that were, consistently or at least steadily speaking about, we can't afford X, or we can't do Y, or pinching pennies X, Y, and Z. These things are not, I'm not speaking in a way that I think alienates anybody. I think it's an important discussion to have, that people stay within their means, and whatever that means growing up. I grew up in that household wholeheartedly. I know you did too, where it wasn't just frivolous spending. It wasn't, trips to the Ritz-Carlton over Christmas holidays and all the rest. We didn't have chauffeurs and so on and so forth. They worked very, very hard, and up until very, very recently, to be able to provide anything that we had ultimately. So there's, first and foremost, without anybody sending any kind of rude DMs to me, I am I'm extremely respectful of hard work first and foremost. And that in and of itself, I think, lays the groundwork for what it is that you can then enjoy or recognize as success when it comes up too. To be able to kind of know that as it's coming through, that you think or you recognize, this is new and this isn't something I've had before. And why haven't you had it before? Well, it's because you've probably put the effort in to be able to earn this new opportunity, which is great.
I'm just going to interject here with a little plug for our friend Chris Harder and his daily texts.
Yep.
That we'll drop that info in the show notes. But I love what you were just saying. And his text that we got today, when it is his tagline, when good people make good money, they can do great things, which is so true. And he follows up by saying, money really amplifies who you are. And if you are someone that loves to give selflessly, you will do even greater things with more money than what you have now. Money does whatever you tell it to, so do great things with it.
It's a mic drop, right? I mean, all it is, in my experience of maybe having not too much money to having enough money, and kind of everything in the middle, all my experience has been personally, and for the people that I've worked with that have infinite boatloads more than me, and significantly less for that matter, the common thing that I see is, the only thing money does is it makes you a greater version of who you were before you had the money.
Oh, I love that.
So, if you were raised properly, if you've got good morals, if you're blessed to be in a position, if you've worked hard enough to be in a position where you have a little bit more money, all it's going to do is allow you to spread your light to more people more efficiently.
I love that.
But if you're a jackass,
yeah,
and you've always been a jackass,
well,
unfortunately, money typically doesn't do much to wipe you clean of you being a jackass. You are typically just a larger jackass. In my
you probably had that
limited amount of time, yes, that I've seen the
experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's even, I feel like this is kind of a good lead up to the conversation we've been having surrounding the holidays.
Yes.
And we celebrate Christmas, and
you're friggin' right we do. Yeah. Big Christmas people up in here.
We're really getting excited for putting up a Christmas tree and watching all the Christmas movies. But we've had a big conversation amongst the two of us that we have sort of sprinkled with our family and want to have a deeper conversation with, is surrounding the gifts. And it's been interesting. We have had a few micro conversations with some friends that some of them have young kids, which is also interesting because you want to ensure there's like that element of, magic from Santa and all of those, warm feelings. But Matt and I are having this conversation of like, what do we need? Like, we would love to redo our fireplace, and that is not something that our parents are going to give us for
I'd
Christmas.
love a new kitchen. You
Yeah,
throw that in a
like
stocking for me, that'd be awesome.
things we want to invest in either in our home, but we also, we talk a lot about investing in experiences, in personal development experiences. So that is where we would prefer to put our money versus, I don't know, I'm going to buy you a new air fryer and wrap it in a big box, which I know you would love.
Yeah.
So
That's why I'm laughing.
that's why you're
I'm
laughing.
pretty pumped, yeah.
But we thought it would be, better suited to maybe just spend our, money as a family, here, us as a couple, on experiences. Or maybe it's giving back. And I did drop that notion to you about maybe going on a service trip. This past spring, I went to Baja, Mexico, actually with the USANA Foundation, which is where the Pigden Family Fund is set up. And wow, it was an eye opener. And I said to you not too long ago how I feel like that experience, it really touched my heart being in that experience. The month was May, but all these months after, I still reflect on that experience and
that's awesome.
Taking in, what the living conditions were for these people that were so happy. There was a, beautiful family of 3, 5, 7 that they just had this gratitude for the help and support. And so I thought maybe that could be an option that we do as an experience, or perhaps we just go on a fun family trip, but it's really about creating memories and spending quality time together.
Yeah. So I think, to kind of almost wrap that, or bring that rather back to what you first asked, how do you define success? I think, there's a portion of one's life where the materialistic side of things is how you do it, and it's easy, it's the quickest way, it's probably the first way that most people recognize how you've become successful. It's the car you drive, it's the watch you wear, it's the restaurants you eat at. Those are the quick easy hits, especially early on. As time goes on, and certainly as I get older, I just turned 40 this year, and as I get older, and I know that we've had poignant reminders of this in our last few years, the things that have meant the most to us is the quality time that we can spend with our family, with our loved ones, with each other, our friends who have largely become family to us. Those are the most important things for us. So now success is, for us, I think, it's the ability to have the time to go and spend with the people you want, making these memories we're talking about. For not for everybody is that an option. I mean, some people have to put in 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week to make sure that ends meet. And in doing so, there's no time left to create the real proper memories that generations are built on effectively.
Yeah.
So now, when I was younger in my 20s, damn right, success was cool cars and dressing nicely and nice restaurants and all of those things. That was success because it was the quickest, easiest way to be able to quantify what I've done in my career. And now, 10 plus years later, I don't think there's any of that needing to prove anything anymore to anybody, which in and of itself feels successful. The need to not need to do it feels successful in its own right.
Well, you asked a friend this question not too long ago, and it was almost like a mic drop moment. And I feel like this is a great question to share with all of our listeners that perhaps, you can take a moment and think about and maybe ask people in your family the same thing. But you asked your friend Nick.
Yeah.
Tell me one thing you got for Christmas last year.
Last year, man. Like
358
days ago,
yeah.
Whenever this is going to come out at
this
and
stage. He had a pretty blank stare.
Couldn't think of it.
Yeah.
Couldn't think of it. And he comes from a big family. He's got 2 other brothers, one of which is married. Obviously, he's got his parents. He's got friends. Cumulatively speaking, people would have spent legitimately thousands of dollars on him. Maybe not like 10, 15 grand, but maybe 2, 3K amongst everybody, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncle, whatever. People would have spent cumulatively a couple grand minimum on him for Christmas. And he could not think of one thing. And to be fair, I can't think of one thing I got materialistically.
But remember what I said? I remember the one gift that had the most impact that we gave my mom.
Yes. And that's interesting because it's a gift that you gave, not a gift that you got.
Yes. And it was kind of an experience. It was social media hours with our chief of staff, Danny,
Yeah.
and she loved it.
But that kind of, without glazing over that, I think that excuse me, that's an important part to recognize, that if we're talking about the ability to feel your best, what was so special, the most special thing that you can think of from last year when we're talking about gifts, it's what you gave somebody. It's how you felt seeing how they received what you were giving them. And that's another almost shift in mindset and what is, becomes more important as you get older. And that's the kind of success that, or the kind of thing that leads to feeling successful, I should say, because you're not banking on what am I opening, what am I taking. It's what are you giving, um, what are you able to share with other people that would make them happy. When good people make good money, they do great things. It is so damn simple. But it's not until you take a step back and you realize, and you kind of almost watch yourself do it and see what the impact is, the true impact is on somebody. I mean, like, you bought a few hours of social media training. What are we talking here? Like $100?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not a dollar and cents thing, but the joy that she got from it, and then what that meant for her from a confidence standpoint, and there's a trickle down effect with all of that. And I think that's the kind of success that we're talking about here, is creating these experiences, having the time for people to spend with other people, and having these people be able to enjoy things that you are able to bring to the table because of how you've made your bed up to that point. That's really what's, and I think in our world, the most
Mm-hmm.
successful thing. When we talk about, one day,
No, we can't wait for this.
that isn't going to be far down the road, but one day when we are swimming in all the money that we need,
We
the
can't
thing we
wait.
talk about
Yeah.
more than anything is taking our family on a
Beautiful trip.
all expense paid trip, and is for as long as we need to go and for as far as we want to go, and not a dollar will be spent from them, because it would be our pleasure to
Mm-hmm.
see how happy that they would be, mostly because they'd be with all of us, of course, but the fact that we would all be able to do it together, I know would fill their hearts to the nth degree. And the fact that we'd be able to do it selfishly, that's what I'm looking forward to the most. That's success. But you need the time to do
Mm-hmm.
that. So that's the natural evolution of all of this, I think.
I think be having a little moment of reflection to see and really feel the joy in either giving gifts versus what you want to receive, but also how can you really enjoy the experience of spending time with your loved ones. That is that quality time, making those memories. Maybe it is acts of service.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, and that could be a nice discussion to have at a family dinner over a glass of wine, Christmas Negroni, whatever it may be. But just having that moment of reflection, and I think it's really cool to have had that conversation with a lot of close friends recently, and kind of being in that evolution. So the little takeaways for today.
Maybe that's the challenge we leave everybody with
Yeah.
today, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be anything substantial. I'm not saying go gift somebody a European adventure for 2 weeks. I just think of something that you can provide someone you love, friend or family or both, something that you wouldn't otherwise do until you think about what it is that they might be looking for, that you can provide for them because you've got the means to do it, dollars or time, whatever it is. And the challenge would be, see how much more that fills your cup
Yeah.
versus the quote unquote traditional definition of success, where it's a lot easier to just add to cart and proceed to checkout.
Well, I think also, and I might even throw up a little question on Instagram of like, what's something that you got for Christmas last year? Because that is a bit of a mindset shift.
It really is, because if you can't figure out or remember more accurately what somebody tried to have you remember last year, 1 year ago, for goodness sake, and spend a ton of money to do it, then maybe we're thinking about this completely the wrong way. And we have to stop thinking about what it is that we received materialistically, and maybe think a little bit more to how we are made to feel
Yeah, like
versus
what
what
did
we
you
get.
gain? Like,
Yeah.
did you spend quality time with the person that you cared about, or tried something new together, a new adventure, whatever it may be? We could go on and on.
Yeah.
But we did say we were going to keep this short and
Yeah,
sweet.
we did. Yeah.
So the tying a bow on the takeaways.
Yeah.
What is something that you got for Christmas last year? That is a great conversation starter. With
And if it doesn't come to mind quickly,
yeah,
then that might be the first step in justifying a quick pivot as to how Christmas is handled this year.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you more.
Love spending time with you. Quality time. And guys, we love spending time with all of you. So much love and gratitude for you. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks for listening to the show. I really love recording these with Matt. We have a lot of fun. So thanks for being here.
Go do something nice for somebody.
Yeah. Can we say like a little Merry Christmas, a little Happy Holidays?
Oh yeah. You're going to get this now for the next few weeks from me. Whenever you see me in real life or on a podcast. So Merry Christmas, everybody.
See you soon. Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this episode, it would mean the world to me if you took 30 seconds and shared this on social media, send it to a friend, or leave a 5-star review. There is power in community, and I am so grateful to have you part of mine.